Title: A Letter to Your Future Self Before You Sleep. Reconnect with your aspirations through nightly reflection. Table of Contents: Whisper something kind to your future self. A gentle beginning to your nightly ritual of inner peace and self-love. The you that still dreams. Reconnecting with the dreamer inside you and keeping your hopes alive. Forgiving who you were, embracing who you're becoming. Letting go of self-blame to build emotional freedom for your future self. You're allowed to start again tomorrow. Releasing the guilt of today and waking up with restored intention. Your quiet efforts are not wasted. Celebrating the unseen, unspoken work you do just by showing up. You're more than the roles you play. Peeling away labels and rediscovering your worth beyond performance. You're allowed to rest without guilt. Honoring rest as a sacred and essential act of self-respect. Your emotions are valid, even the quiet ones. Making space for subtle feelings that deserve your compassion too. You're allowed to take up space. Affirming your right to be seen, heard, and honored fully and unapologetically. You are becoming someone worth staying for. Owning your growth and becoming the person your future self will thank. Chapter 1: Whisper something kind to your future self. Tonight, whisper something kind to the future version of you. Let your voice drift across the bridge of time, soft like the moonlight and sincere like a wish upon the stars. No one else needs to hear it. But your future self, tired, determined, uncertain, or thriving will. And what you whisper tonight might be the anchor they desperately need in some storm you can't yet see. The invitation. You lie in bed. The world has quieted. The buzz of responsibility fades. And for a few golden minutes before sleep, you have a choice. Do you carry today's fears into tomorrow? Or do you send forward a message, a gentle note to the you that is still becoming? This is the start of a ritual not just for peace of mind, but for soul preservation. A bedtime letter not written on paper, but etched in intention. You will speak it silently or aloud, but always with love. No judgment. No pressure. Just kindness, in advance. Why it matters. Your future self is not a stranger. It is you, shaped by choices made now. And though the future remains unseen, it is not unreachable. When we speak kindly to our future selves, we sow seeds. Seeds of grace, encouragement, belief. The kind of seeds that bloom when hope runs low or when the journey feels heavier than expected. This practice isn't naive optimism. It's nightly self-leadership. It says, no matter what's coming, I trust who I'm becoming. Begin gently. Here's how you begin. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. And imagine the version of you 3 months from now. A year. 5 years. What do they look like? Where are they standing? What burdens are they carrying? Now, send them a message. It doesn't have to be profound. It just has to be real. Example. Hey future me. I hope you're still holding on. Tonight was rough, but I want you to know I'm proud of you. You're still here, and that matters. Say it like you're speaking to a loved one. Because you are. The healing in forward letters. Writing or whispering to your future self is powerful for one reason: it reminds you that you believe in something beyond now. It can be healing to pause and imagine yourself older, wiser, braver, someone who survived today's problems. In this reflection, you regain your own power. Your struggles gain perspective. Your current fears shrink in the presence of tomorrow's light. And here's the truth: your future self is already thanking you for caring enough to leave them light in the dark. What you might say tonight. Tonight's message doesn't have to be long. Just true. Here are a few whispers you might try until your own voice comes through. Keep going. There's more light ahead than you can see right now. I promise to take care of you. Rest is a gift, not a reward. Even if no one else sees your effort, I do. I always will. You're not behind. You're exactly where growth happens. This practice turns bedtime into sacred time, a reunion between who you are and who you are becoming. Subliminal seeds of self-enrichment. Without needing any grand declarations, this nightly ritual plants powerful messages in your subconscious. Over time, they bloom. Belief in your own emotional resilience. Trust in the process of life. Gentleness in the way you treat yourself. Clarity in your deeper intentions. You are not just wishing your future self well. You are building them night by night, whisper by whisper. Let it be enough. Some nights, you won't have the strength to say much. That's okay. Whisper just one word if that's all you can. Peace. Or maybe, thank you. Let that be enough. Let your message be imperfect and human, because your future self is not looking for perfection. Just connection. Call to action, make it a ritual. Try this for 7 nights. Breathe deeply before sleep. Visualize your future self. Whisper a kind message. Sleep with the thought of being supported by you. You may find yourself waking up differently. Softer. Clearer. More connected to something beautiful within you. Because what you whisper tonight may be the very words that save you someday. Chapter 2, The You That Still Dreams. There's a version of you in the future still dreaming. Don't let tonight's exhaustion talk you out of becoming them. There's something sacred about sleep, not just in the rest it gives your body, but in the pause it offers your soul. In that quiet space, just before you drift off, you can hear the quieter parts of yourself, the ones that still believe, still hope, still dream. This chapter is a letter to that part of you, the dreamer who never stopped believing in more. Meeting the dreamer within. Before the world got loud, before responsibilities pulled you in 1,000 directions, before your shoulders bore the weight of expectation, you were a dreamer. Maybe you wanted to be a writer, a traveler, an artist, a healer, a parent, a guide. Maybe you didn't have words for it, but you felt the pull towards something meaningful, something more. That dreamer still lives inside you, not as a relic of the past, but as the architect of your future. Tonight, as you lay down, imagine writing a letter to the version of yourself who never stopped dreaming. This is the version of you that still lights up at possibilities, who smiles at simple things, who believes in goodness even after being hurt. They're still here. Just under the surface of your tiredness. Waiting. Why dreams fade and why they can return. Dreams don't die. They get buried under the rubble of daily survival. Bills, deadlines, heartbreak, regret, they pile on like dust until the dreamer in you becomes quiet. Not gone, just quiet. The good news? It only takes one intentional whisper to begin brushing that dust away. You don't have to drop everything and run toward your dream tomorrow. You just have to not give up on yourself tonight. This letter is your reminder. I haven't forgotten you. I still want the life we imagined. I may be slower now, more cautious, more scarred, but the fire is still there. The future you still dreams, let them know you care. Picture your future self 5 years from now. Standing tall, eyes bright, finally doing that thing you once wrote in the margins of notebooks or whispered to no one. Maybe they finally opened that small cafe. Or started painting again. Or found love after years of loneliness. Or forgave. Or healed. Now talk to them. Whisper this. I see you. I believe in what you're doing. I'm doing my part now so you can live more freely then. This connection across time is more than just imagination, it's emotional fuel. It's a bridge of belief from your current self to the one still dreaming. And this belief gives you the endurance to keep going. A bedtime ritual to rekindle the dream. Here's a simple nightly practice you can follow to reignite connection with your dreams. Lie still and breathe. Let today go. The stress, the mistakes, the noise, release it. Picture the dream. Call up a vision of a goal that once mattered. Big or small. Allow it to breathe in your imagination. Feel what it brings. Notice how your body reacts. Does your chest lift a little? Does your face soften? Whisper a commitment. Just one line. I still want this. I'll make one step this week. You're worth fighting for. End with a blessing to your future self. May you never forget where we began. And may you soar higher than we dared to dream. Repeat as needed. The consistency is more important than perfection. Dreaming in a world that tells you not to. We live in a world that often rewards conformity more than creativity. Practicality over possibility. Security over soul. And that's okay. Structure is necessary. But don't let the rules of living erase the reasons you wanted to live meaningfully in the first place. Your dreams don't make you naive. They make you alive. So, whisper something kind to the you who's still willing to believe. Don't shame that part of yourself. Protect it. Nurture it. Encourage it, especially when no one else sees. Tonight, say, I see you. And I love your courage. What if you don't know your dream? That's okay. This isn't a contest. Some nights you may not feel clear. You may not know what your dream is anymore. You may feel numb or directionless. That's not failure. That's fatigue. On those nights, your whisper can simply be, I give myself permission to rediscover what I love. You don't need all the answers now. You just need to stay open. Your dreams will return, like old friends visiting when the timing is right. And when they do, you'll be ready to listen. Subliminal rebuilding through gentle hope. Even when you whisper softly, your brain listens. Your subconscious takes note. When you say I believe in you before bed, your inner self tucks it away like a secret treasure and builds strength from it. Night after night, this becomes a subliminal restoration. Belief replaces bitterness. Curiosity returns where cynicism once grew. Energy rises where apathy had settled. You are rebuilding your dream muscle gently, quietly, but powerfully. Whisper examples for tonight. If you don't know what to say, here are some options. Your passion matters, even when no one claps. Keep that spark alive. It's not too late. Every small step is part of the dream. You don't need permission to live a life that lights you up. You're allowed to dream a new dream now. Let these lines inspire your own. Let your future self dream freely. Finally, when you imagine your future self, don't trap them in your current limitations. Let them dream freely. Imagine them waking up peaceful, doing work they love, surrounded by kindness, speaking with confidence, feeling purposeful. Now, imagine you helped build that future, one bedtime whisper at a time. That is the power you hold, even tonight. Gentle closing thought. As you close your eyes tonight, let this be your final message. Dear future me, I may not have everything figured out, but I haven't given up on you. I still believe you deserve to live the life we once dreamed about. So tonight, I rest not as escape, but as preparation to rise again tomorrow. With love, your past self who still cares. Chapter 3, Forgiving who you were, embracing who you're becoming. Before you sleep, release the grip on your past self so your future self can breathe. Tonight, as the world fades into quiet, there is something more healing than rest. It is forgiveness. Not for others but for yourself. So much of what we carry to bed is not just physical exhaustion. It's the emotional residue of old decisions, unmet expectations, and silent shame. And yet, your future self does not need a perfect history, they need a free spirit. And that freedom begins with how you speak to your past. This chapter is a letter, a gentle, powerful one to the parts of you still holding guilt, regret, or disappointment. It's an invitation to lay them down, even if just for tonight. Why we struggle to forgive ourselves. We often think growth means constantly doing better, being stronger, being wiser. But growth is also about making space for who we were and releasing the belief that we should have known better back then. Here's the truth. You did the best you could with the clarity, courage, and resources you had. We are all doing life for the first time. Even now. But if you go to sleep every night carrying blame, your subconscious begins to believe you're undeserving of joy, love, and future peace. And that belief becomes a barrier between you and your fullest self. The bridge from then to now. Your past self is not your enemy. They are a younger version of you who simply hadn't seen what you see now. They were trying to survive, to love, to understand, often in broken ways. But they brought you here. And tonight, you can thank them. Try this. Close your eyes and picture yourself from 5 years ago. 10 years ago. Maybe even last month. What were they afraid of? What were they hoping for? Then whisper something like, I forgive you. I see why you did what you did. Thank you for getting me this far. Let this bridge reconnect you. Let compassion replace criticism. A bedtime ritual of release. Here's a ritual to practice tonight. Bring the moment to mind. What memory or decision still hurts when you think about it? Just acknowledge it. Speak to that version of you. Imagine looking them in the eyes. Let your heart soften. Let go of judgment. Whisper a release phrase. Examples. You didn't know then what we know now. I'm no longer punishing you. You did your best. I carry you forward with compassion, not criticism. Visualize letting go. Picture placing that memory in a boat, setting it afloat on water, and watching it drift under moonlight. Bless your becoming. End with, I welcome who I am becoming. I choose peace tonight. This sacred bedtime forgiveness can ease mental tension, calm your nervous system, and renew your spirit by morning. Forgiveness as freedom, not approval. Let's be clear, forgiving yourself does not mean approving of every choice. It means recognizing your humanity. You are not your worst moment. You are not your past mistake. You are not the version of you that once made someone cry or failed to speak up. You are the evolving soul that is willing to grow, heal, and show up differently now. That's redemption. When you whisper forgiveness, you untie the anchor that keeps your soul trapped in yesterday, and that energy flows into tomorrow. A note to the self still hurting. If you're still struggling to let go, that's okay. Some wounds ask for time. Some parts of us need more than one night of kindness. Keep showing up. Keep whispering. Keep trusting that self-love is a practice, not a performance. And when your mind says, but I don't deserve to be forgiven, remember. You are not meant to live forever in punishment. You are meant to live forward. You can say, even if I can't fully forgive yet, I'm willing to try. I choose gentleness tonight. That willingness alone opens the door to healing. Gentle affirmations for release. Here are some phrases you can whisper as you drift off to sleep. I forgive myself for not knowing better. I was learning. I choose grace over guilt tonight. I release the past with love, not bitterness. I am not my old wounds. I am my new intentions. Peace belongs to me even if I made mistakes. Speak what resonates. Let the rest fall away. How your future self benefits from your forgiveness. Your future self isn't waiting for you to fix the past, they're hoping you'll stop reliving it. They need your energy in the present. They need your imagination, your creativity, your strength, none of which flourish in self-condemnation. When you forgive who you were, you free who you are, and that freedom ripples into every version of you still unfolding. Tonight, don't rehearse what went wrong. Write a new narrative, one where you survive, rise, and walk with grace. Let it begin with, Dear future me, I'm no longer at war with our past. I'm holding it like a story, one we learned from. I'm loving who we are becoming. Subliminal message of self-enrichment. Each time you forgive, you reprogram your inner dialogue. You teach your subconscious, I am safe to evolve. I am worthy of peace. I don't need to be perfect to be valuable. I can move forward without punishment. These are not just words, they are frequencies. They enter your rest and gently rewire your self-concept. By morning, you rise lighter, not because life changed, but because you did. Final whisper for tonight. As you close your eyes, take one last breath. Feel your chest rise. Feel your body soften. And say, to my younger self, thank you for trying. To my present self, I am proud of your effort. To my future self, I'm clearing the path for you with grace, not guilt. Let this be your lullaby. Let this be your release. Tomorrow will meet you with new light. But tonight you've done something miraculous. You've let go. Chapter 4, You're allowed to start again tomorrow. No matter how today went, you are still worthy of a fresh beginning. There's something deeply tender about nighttime. It's the moment the world quiets just enough for you to hear your own breath, your own thoughts, your own heartbeat. And in that silence, you may find yourself reflecting on the day, what went well, what didn't, where you showed up, and where you fell short. This chapter is a loving reminder, a gentle letter, that no matter what kind of day you had, you're allowed to start again tomorrow. The myth of ruined days. We live in a culture that often glorifies perfect days. Days filled with productivity, clean checklists, strong boundaries, and perfect moods. But here's the truth no one tells you loudly enough. There's no such thing as a ruined day. There are only lived days. You may have lost your temper, procrastinated, felt disconnected, made a mistake, cried in private, or just numbed out. That doesn't erase your worth. That doesn't undo the goodness still inside you. And it certainly doesn't disqualify you from a better tomorrow. Tonight, write this on your heart. I'm not behind. I'm just human. And tomorrow is a canvas, not a verdict. The permission to be in progress. One of the greatest kindnesses you can offer your future self is the permission to be in progress, not perfect. The idea that transformation must be instant is one of the most dangerous lies we internalize. Real change is not a single, dramatic moment. It's hundreds of soft choices repeated, especially on days you feel like you've failed. The whisper of progress sounds like, today was hard, but I'll try again with tenderness tomorrow. That voice becomes your strength. When the day felt like too much. If today left you overwhelmed or emotionally drained, you are not alone. Some days don't make sense until later. Some days are meant only to be survived, not analyzed. Let go of the pressure to make every day feel meaningful or productive. Your future self doesn't need you to be constantly on. They need you to learn the rhythm of rest, to trust the value of recovery, to understand that even stillness contributes to growth. Tonight, give yourself the grace to say, I did what I could. That is enough for today. A nightly reset practice. Here's a 5-step ritual to reset your heart and mind before sleep. Lie in stillness and acknowledge the day honestly. Say to yourself, "This was my day. I accept it without shame." Choose one moment to be proud of, even if small. Did you show up? Apologize? Breathe deeply? Get out of bed? Name one thing you're releasing. It could be regret, self-doubt, comparison, or harshness. Whisper your reset intention. I will meet tomorrow with fresh energy. I am not the sum of today's difficulties. My future deserves a rested me. Visualize the sunrise gently illuminating your path. Let sleep become a sacred bridge between this version of you and the one that rises again. Repeat nightly. Let it become your sacred rhythm. The healing power of do-overs. There is beauty in the ability to begin again. And what's even more beautiful is this. You don't have to wait for a new week, a new year, or a dramatic moment. You can begin again every single night. This is your permission slip. Every bedtime becomes a doorway. Not to forget the past but to step beyond it. To greet tomorrow not as a punishment or burden, but as a blank slate. A mercy. A miracle. What if you're tired of beginning again? Maybe you've been here before. Promising change. Hoping for consistency. Only to fall back into old patterns. And now, a part of you whispers, "What's the point of trying again?" Here's the point. Every time you start again, you prove that hope still lives in you. That is powerful. Consistency doesn't mean never slipping. It means choosing return over retreat. It means saying, "Even if I stumble 1,000 times, I'll rise 1,001. Your future self doesn't need perfection, they need your willingness. Subliminal messages that support your reset. As you close your eyes tonight, your inner dialogue will begin shaping the energy you wake up with. Fill it with messages like, "I'm worthy of peace even after imperfect days. Sleep renews my body, and kindness renews my mind. Tomorrow is my next chance, and I will show up with compassion. I trust in slow, steady change." These phrases bypass judgment and speak directly to your soul, quietly reinforcing your ability to grow. Affirmations to whisper as you drift off. You may choose one or more of these lines tonight. My day does not define my destiny. Tomorrow holds new light, and I am ready to receive it. Every breath I take now prepares me to begin again. I am not stuck. I am simply on a pause, and that is okay. I welcome the fresh start the morning brings. Say them aloud or in your heart. Either way, your body listens. And your soul feels it. A loving letter to leave at the door of tomorrow. As a final practice, imagine writing this note and leaving it for your future self to read in the morning. Dear tomorrow me. You are not burdened by today's weight. I've done my part in releasing what no longer serves us. You are free to walk forward, not as a prisoner of the past, but as a participant in new beginnings. Rise gently. Drink the sunlight slowly. And remember, we are worthy of fresh chances. With love. The version of you who chose hope before sleep. Gentle closing thought. As your head touches the pillow tonight, know this. You don't need to earn tomorrow. You don't need to prove anything to deserve another sunrise. You just need to receive it with open palms and a rested heart. So whisper this final promise. I'm not finished. I'm just beginning again. Let the night be your reset. Let the morning be your quiet revolution. Chapter 5, Your quiet efforts are not wasted. Even when no one sees, your effort echoes into your future. Some of the most important things you do in life will go unseen. There are no trophies for emotional resilience, no applause for staying kind when the world pushes you to be cold, no headlines for trying again after failing silently. Yet, it's these quiet efforts made in moments of solitude, heartbreak, or doubt that shape your future more than any loud achievement ever will. This chapter is your nightly reminder. Just because your effort isn't visible doesn't mean it isn't powerful. The invisible weight you carry. There's a version of strength that lives in the shadows. It's the strength of waking up when you feel heavy, of trying again even after disappointment, of holding your tongue when you want to lash out, of putting one foot in front of the other when no one is watching. And tonight, maybe you're tired. Not from physical labor, but from the emotional load of giving so much, with so little recognition. You're not weak for feeling that way. You're human. And you deserve to be reminded that the quiet things you do, especially the ones no one claps for, are building something strong inside you. Seeds grow in silence. Think of a seed buried in the soil. It doesn't shout as it pushes through the dirt. It doesn't announce every root it grows. But eventually, it breaks the surface, blooms, and offers something beautiful to the world. That's what your effort is doing now. Every night you choose to keep going, you're planting. Every breath you take after crying, you're watering. Every small act of self-care or restraint, you're growing. And your future self? They're standing under the shade of that tree, grateful you never gave up when things were still underground. A letter to the unseen you. Let's write a letter right now. Not for public sharing, not for validation, but for your inner sanctuary. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And whisper. To the version of me who keeps showing up when no one notices. I see you. I see the way you care without asking for credit. I see the way you hope even when the world feels dim. I see how you keep your word, even to yourself. I know it's hard. I know you question if it matters. But I promise you this: every drop of kindness, patience, effort, and faith is a thread weaving the life you dream about. And I'm proud of you. Truly. Let these words be a balm. Let them remind you, you are not invisible to yourself. When progress feels like standing still. Some nights, you might feel like nothing is changing. Like your inner work is going unnoticed. Like your quiet efforts haven't moved the needle. But transformation is rarely loud. It happens in the small pivots. In the "I'll try again tomorrow." In the way you speak to yourself more gently than you used to. In the fact that you're here reading this, reflecting, choosing peace. Even that is growth. Your future self isn't measuring you by milestones. They're whispering. Thank you for not quitting on us when it was quiet. You're doing more than you know. A bedtime reflection practice. To honor your unseen efforts, try this nightly practice. Close your eyes and scan your day. Look for the moments no one saw the effort you gave anyway. Acknowledge at least one private victory. I held back when I wanted to shout. I took a walk even though I felt low. I made a healthy choice. I kept a promise to myself. Whisper a phrase of recognition. That mattered. I mattered. No effort is wasted if it aligned with love, truth, or healing. Even the small steps count. Bless your future self with the energy you gave today. May this quiet strength carry you through whatever is next. This is how you sanctify effort. This is how you refill your soul. Whispering support into the future. Your future self will not remember every detail of your effort, but they will feel its impact. Tonight, speak a few words into the silence, not for today, but for who you're becoming. Say, I'm building something, even if I can't see it yet. I trust that my future will reflect the heart I'm living with now. One day, this quiet effort will bloom into something beautiful. You may not feel it immediately, but these whispers are the scaffolding of resilience. They remind you that purpose doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it whispers back, keep going. Subliminal self-enrichment in silent labor. The most transformative messages are not shouted, they're repeated softly, with belief. By reflecting on your daily, silent efforts before bed, you unconsciously strengthen your resilience, the ability to hold steady in uncertainty. Your self-respect, the kind earned by acting with integrity. Your inner peace, the kind that grows when you stop needing validation. This inner alignment becomes your compass, one your future self will rely on more than any applause. Bedtime affirmations for the quiet warrior. Here are some affirmations to anchor your rest tonight. My value is not dependent on who notices me. I honor my effort, even when the world is silent. I am consistent, not because it's easy, but because it matters. Small steps count. Gentle work counts. Rest counts. I trust that the quiet parts of my life are building something meaningful. Repeat these as you breathe slowly and surrender to sleep. Final whisper before you drift. Tonight, give yourself one last moment of praise. You may not have been perfect. You may not have achieved all you wanted. But you tried. You showed up. You carried something quietly and kindly. So say, dear future me, if you're living more freely, smiling more often, or standing more confidently, please know it's because of the quiet work I'm doing now. I don't need the world to see. I just need to know I'm becoming you. With quiet strength. Me. Let that be your lullaby. Let it remind you that even in silence, you are being shaped into something extraordinary. Chapter 6, You're More Than the Roles You Play. Beneath every title, task, and responsibility there is a soul worthy of love simply for existing. Before you sleep tonight, take a deep breath and gently peel away the many masks you've worn today. The employee, the caregiver, the friend, the partner, the helper, the planner, the one who always holds things together. Yes, you wore them well. You showed up. You gave what you could. But now it's time to come home to yourself. This chapter is a soft reminder to your future self that your identity is not confined to the roles you've played. You are so much more than your usefulness. You are so much more than your performance. You are a soul whole, worthy, and beautiful even when you do nothing at all. The danger of role-based worth. From a young age, we were praised for how well we fit into roles. Good student. Reliable sibling. Hard-working employee. Strong mother. Helpful son. Brilliant leader. But sometimes, in trying to meet those expectations, we forget the self beneath the title. We attach our worth to being needed, respected, admired, or efficient, and slowly, we start fearing what might happen if we stop doing. This fear whispers, if I stop being productive, will I still be valuable? If I stop helping everyone, will I still be loved? If I don't succeed, who am I? Let tonight be the night you tell yourself, I am not just who I serve. I am who I am, and that is enough. Shedding the layers before sleep. Picture yourself stepping out of your roles one by one. Like layers of clothing, gently remove them as you prepare for bed. Take off the label of problem solver. Set down the pressure of provider. Let go of being the one who never complains. Release the performance of having it all together. Stand even just in your imagination as your truest self, not trying to impress, fix, or prove anything. Just existing. Breathing. Being. Let this be your ritual of reconnection. A letter to the self beyond the roles. Whisper this to your heart tonight. To the part of me that no one claps for, I see you. To the self beneath the smile, the strength, and the service, I remember you. You don't need to do more to deserve love. You don't need to wear every hat to matter. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to just be. And I promise I will not forget you again. Let these words create space. Let them bring you back to center. Who are you without the doing? This is one of the most profound questions you can ask before sleep. Who am I when I'm not achieving or performing or helping or fixing? It's okay if you don't have a clear answer. Most people don't. But this inquiry matters because it helps you reclaim your self-worth from external validation. Imagine your future self content, calm, radiant. They're not admired because of what they produce. They are peaceful because they know. I am not just a role. I am a soul. And tonight, you're remembering that too. A bedtime practice of identity renewal. Here's a simple exercise to reconnect with your authentic self before sleep. Name the roles you played today. Just list them quietly in your mind. Notice how many hats you wore. Acknowledge what each role required. Being a parent required patience. Working today required focus. Supporting a friend required emotional presence. Thank yourself, then release them. Thank you for being present. You may rest now. Visualize each role floating away like a balloon into the night sky. Speak your essence aloud or silently. I am more than what I did today. I am worthy beyond productivity. I am allowed to exist as I am. Repeat this nightly to gently restore your identity. Reclaiming wholeness through rest. When you strip away roles, you don't become less, you become whole. Rest is not just recovery, it's return. It's a return to who you were before the world told you who to be. Your future self doesn't need you to carry every role forever. They need you to make space for joy, curiosity, softness, and truth. They need you to come back to your wholeness. So whisper this blessing. May I sleep as my full self, not a role, not a title, not a function, but as someone worthy, sacred, and real. Subliminal self-enrichment through identity softening. Each time you remind yourself, I am enough as I am, you rewire years of conditional worth. You begin to dissolve the belief that love must be earned through effort or success. The more often you repeat this truth at bedtime, the more you feel secure even when you're not needed. Find confidence in your quiet presence. Embrace rest as a right, not a reward. Rebuild trust with your authentic self. This quiet rebuilding creates a future self who lives more freely because they are no longer imprisoned by expectation. Affirmations for the soul beneath the roles. Tonight, let your subconscious hear new truths. Whisper. I am not just what I do, I am who I am. I release the pressure to perform tonight. I am worthy even in stillness. My identity is deeper than any job, title, or responsibility. I sleep tonight as my true self, unburdened and beloved. Let these truths echo within you as you drift into rest. A final message to carry forward. Before sleep takes you, write this in the quiet of your heart. Dear future me. If you feel tired, don't just rest, return. Return to the you that was never a title, never a to-do list, never a role. I am remembering you tonight. I am sending you this version of me, unmasked, untitled, and true. Please carry this softness with you. Because you are more than what you do. You are someone to be loved just for being. Gentle closing thought. As you close your eyes tonight, breathe one final truth. I am not a role to perform, I am a heart to care for. Let that be your lullaby. Let that be your healing. Let that be your return. Chapter 7, You're allowed to rest without guilt. Rest isn't something you earn, it's something you deserve, simply because you are alive. There's a quiet ache that comes from constantly pushing, constantly proving, constantly performing without ever giving yourself permission to pause. And often, even when you finally stop moving, your mind doesn't. It replays what you haven't done, what you should have done, what still needs doing. But tonight, this chapter is your invitation to stop carrying that guilt into your rest. Because you are allowed to rest. Not after you've accomplished more. Not when everything is in order. Not only when others approve. You are allowed to rest now just as you are. The lie of earned rest. Many of us were taught that rest is something to be earned. That it's a reward after hard work. That taking a break means falling behind. That slowing down is selfish or lazy. But this belief system creates an invisible cage. One where even our quiet moments are haunted by the feeling that we're wasting time. Let's replace that old script with a new truth. Rest is not a luxury. It is a human right. It is a spiritual act. It is a radical reclaiming of your worth beyond what you do. And your future self? They are healthier, clearer, and stronger because of the nights you chose to rest without apology. A conversation with the inner critic. Right before bed, the inner critic often wakes up. It whispers. You didn't do enough today. You should have been more productive. You're behind. Other people are doing more. When these thoughts come, meet them with compassion and firm boundaries. Say, rest is not a betrayal of my goals. It is fuel for them. I trust that rest will make me more whole, not less worthy. I release the need to prove myself through exhaustion. Talk back with truth. Talk back with love. What happens when you rest without guilt? When you truly allow yourself to rest not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, something beautiful happens. Your nervous system begins to reset. Your mind clears space for inspiration. Your body begins to heal what stress had stolen. Your spirit becomes tender again. Rest softens you. It returns you to your natural rhythm. It reconnects you with your humanity. And over time, your future self becomes someone who doesn't just survive life, but feels safe within it. A bedtime restfulness practice. Try this gentle ritual tonight. Lie down and place your hand over your heart. Feel your own warmth. Your own presence. Say aloud or silently, I give myself permission to rest. Not later now. I am not a machine. I am a human being. Even unfinished, I am allowed to pause. Take a deep breath and exhale tension. With each breath out, release guilt, pressure, and comparison. Visualize yourself surrounded by soft light. This light holds you, protects you, and reminds you that nothing urgent lives in this moment. End with gratitude. Thank you, body, for carrying me. Thank you, soul, for staying with me. Tomorrow will meet me more gently because I rested tonight. This is how you shift from forced sleep to sacred rest. Rest as a revolutionary act. In a world that constantly demands more output, more content, more hustle, choosing rest is radical. To say, I will not grind myself to dust for validation, is a rebellion. To whisper, I don't need to be exhausted to feel important, is healing. Rest, without guilt, realigns your life around being rather than doing. It teaches your future self to measure success not just by what you achieve, but by how well you care for the vessel achieving it. Subliminal messages of rest-fueled power. The more you whisper rest-affirming truths before sleep, the more your subconscious integrates them. I am safe even when I stop. My value is not tied to my busyness. Rest restores my clarity and creativity. Rest is productive because it restores the person doing the work. These quiet messages help dissolve years of internalized pressure. And your future self? They live lighter. They move with ease. because you planted the seeds of balance now. Gentle nighttime affirmations. Let these affirmations guide you into guilt-free rest. I am allowed to rest, no explanation needed. My body deserves rest. My mind deserves peace. I release today. I welcome restoration. Slowing down is not giving up. It's tuning in. I sleep now as an act of self-love. Speak these softly. Let your body absorb their meaning as you settle into stillness. A loving message to carry forward. As a closing gift, here's a letter you can send to your future self. Dear future me, I hope you feel light in your body. I hope you wake up with softness in your soul. I am resting for you tonight, not because I'm giving up, but because I want you to thrive. You do not have to prove anything. You do not have to earn breath or joy or peace. I am creating a life where rest is not an afterthought, but a foundation. Sleep well, my future self. You are safe to rise again. Gentle closing thought. Tonight, let this be your truth. Rest is not a delay. It is part of the journey. I do not need guilt to grow. I only need gentleness. So as your eyes close, imagine your future self smiling, grateful that you chose peace over pressure, softness over striving. And remember, you are allowed to rest, and you are still becoming everything you're meant to be. Chapter 8, Your emotions are valid, even the quiet ones. Just because a feeling is quiet doesn't mean it's insignificant. As you settle into bed tonight, maybe there's a feeling sitting quietly in your chest. It doesn't scream. It doesn't demand attention. But it's there like a whisper, a weight, or a longing. Maybe it's loneliness. Or a flicker of joy you didn't know how to share. Maybe it's confusion, or hope, or even the ache of gratitude. This chapter is a love letter to those quiet emotions, the ones you don't always understand, the ones you don't always talk about, the ones you're learning to listen to. Because your future self deserves the kind of peace that can only come from honoring every part of who you are, including what you feel. The myth of big emotions only. We often think only big emotions matter. Meltdowns, breakdowns, explosions of joy, bursts of anger, cries of sadness. These are visible. These are accepted. These get attention. But what about the emotions that show up silently? The subtle disappointment you brush off. The quiet pride you never speak aloud. The numbness you don't understand. The bittersweet moment you tuck away. The heaviness that follows you like a shadow. These are valid, too. They are signals. Invitations. Part of your emotional vocabulary. And when you honor them, even silently, you become more whole. You don't need to justify how you feel. One of the most powerful truths you can tell yourself at bedtime is this: I am allowed to feel what I feel without needing to explain, justify, or fix it. Your emotions don't have to make sense to anyone. They don't need to be dramatic to be real. They don't need to be logical to be valid. Tonight, if your heart feels something, anything that deserves your attention. Not analysis. Not judgment. Just presence. A gentle bedtime practice of emotional validation. Let's practice tuning in with compassion. Lie still and place your hand on your heart. Breathe deeply. Ask softly, what am I feeling right now? Don't rush to label or fix. Just observe. Let your body speak. Where is the tension? The softness? The flutter? Welcome what comes up, even if it's unclear. Whisper, whatever this is, I allow it to be here. Imagine the feeling as a guest. Let it sit beside you, not inside you. Not forever, just for now. End with a message of safety. It's okay. I'm safe to feel. Nothing needs to be solved tonight. Let this practice be a nightly invitation to self-connection. The danger of emotional dismissal. Too many of us were taught to hide our feelings. Don't cry. Be strong. Others have it worse. Get over it. You're too sensitive. These messages train us to shrink our emotions, even from ourselves. But feelings don't disappear when ignored. They sink. And when they're buried too long, they come back louder through burnout, numbness, outbursts, or anxiety. Let your future self be free from that cycle. Start now, by telling yourself, I don't have to be strong all the time. I just have to be honest. What you feel tonight shapes your future peace. When you acknowledge your quiet feelings before bed, you prevent them from becoming emotional clutter. Instead of dragging them into tomorrow, you give them space now to breathe, to be felt, to be softened. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. Your future self will thank you for not bottling up your sadness, not ignoring your joy, not masking your fear, not silencing your wonder. Each feeling you allow becomes a stepping stone to inner clarity. Whisper messages for quiet emotions. Tonight, if you're feeling unseen, I matter, even if no one notices. Anxious, I don't need to solve everything right now. Hopeful, it's safe to dream again. Numb, it's okay if I don't feel much tonight. Grateful, I welcome this peace, even if it's fleeting. There is no right way to feel. There is only the truth of what is real for you in this moment. The healing power of naming. Sometimes just naming a feeling gives it breath. You can try this gentle inner script. Right now, I feel underscore 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 underscore. And that's okay. I don't need to fight it. I'm allowed to feel. I'm allowed to heal. Even if the feeling doesn't leave right away, your relationship with it shifts. You stop being afraid of it. And that alone is freedom. Subliminal enrichment through emotional permission. By giving your subconscious permission to feel, you reprogram the belief that emotions are burdens. Instead, they become guides, companions, messengers. Over time, this practice cultivates emotional fluency, the ability to understand your inner world. Self-trust, you no longer fear your own reactions. Peaceful sleep, when emotions are honored, they don't fester. Greater empathy, you'll have space for others because you gave it to yourself first. Your future self becomes someone who responds rather than reacts because they learned how to feel safely, starting with you. Nighttime affirmations for emotional wholeness. Repeat softly as you prepare for sleep. My feelings are valid, even if they're quiet. I trust myself to sit with what is. I am not broken, I am in touch. Emotions are part of healing, not something to hide. Tonight, I make space for me. These gentle affirmations are emotional balm soothing the soul and softening the heart. A loving letter to your future self. Here's a note you might send forward in time. Dear future me. If you feel peaceful today, I hope it's because I started listening to what we felt. I'm no longer running from our emotions. I'm no longer waiting for permission to be honest. Tonight, I let the soft sadness in. The joy I couldn't explain. The fear I couldn't voice. And I whispered to all of it. You are allowed here. I did this so you could live unburdened. So you could breathe easier. So you could speak clearly. So you could love deeper. Thank you for continuing the work I started tonight. Gentle closing thought. As you drift toward sleep, know this. Your emotions are not flaws. They are signals that you are alive, that you care, that you're growing. So rest with this truth. What I feel matters even in silence. I sleep tonight with all of me, not just the polished parts. Let your feelings be safe here. Let your soul be heard. Chapter 9, You're allowed to take up space. You don't need to shrink yourself to be loved. You don't have to disappear to be accepted. There is a version of you that still hides. The one who's careful not to speak too loudly, dream too boldly, or shine too brightly. The one who lowers their gaze, softens their opinions, and avoids asking for too much just to keep the peace. But here's a truth your future self needs you to remember tonight. You are allowed to take up space. Not just physically, emotionally, spiritually, vocally. Your presence is not a burden. It is a gift. The inherited habit of shrinking. Somewhere along the way, you learned to shrink. Maybe it came from family where love felt conditional. Maybe it came from school where being too much drew criticism. Maybe it came from the workplace where being visible meant being vulnerable. Or maybe it came from your culture, where humility was misdefined as silence. So you learned to make yourself smaller to keep others comfortable. Apologize for existing when you weren't needed. Quiet your joy so no one felt left out. Dim your passion so you wouldn't be judged. Stay silent when your heart wanted to speak. But tonight, you're invited to remember. Your soul was never meant to be minimized. The weight of suppressed presence. Carrying the habit of shrinking is exhausting. It shows up in subtle ways. You hesitate before speaking, wondering if you're allowed. You apologize for things that don't need apologies. You put everyone else's needs before your own, every time. You hide your brilliance because you're afraid it'll make others uncomfortable. You edit yourself constantly. This emotional compression creates inner tension. You begin to live a partial version of yourself, always aware, always restrained, never fully free. But your future self? They live fully, boldly, lovingly. And that journey begins tonight, with this whisper. I am allowed to be here. I belong. Just as I am. A bedtime expansion practice. Let's try something gentle together. Lie down and breathe deeply. Feel your body taking up space on the bed, the weight, the warmth, the realness. Affirm your right to exist, unfiltered. Say softly, I am here. I am enough. I do not need to shrink. Visualize your energy expanding beyond your body. Not in arrogance, but in wholeness. Your presence gently filling the room, a presence that is kind, steady, and true. Invite every part of yourself to stay. The shy part. The bold part. The creative, sensitive, fierce, and soft parts. Let them gather around you like dear friends. End with a loving message. All of me is welcome. I give myself permission to be seen. Let this become your sacred return. Why taking up space isn't selfish. We've been taught that taking up space means stealing it from others. But presence is not pie. More for you doesn't mean less for someone else. When you step into your fullness, you inspire others to do the same. You give permission. You become a mirror for what's possible. Taking up space isn't about dominance. It's about truth. It's about saying, I matter too. And when you live in your fullness, your future self walks through life not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence. Rooted, balanced, aligned. What does it mean to take up space? It can be simple things. Saying no without explanation. Laughing loudly when something is funny. Dressing the way you want, not the way you're expected to. Taking breaks without guilt. Asking questions. Celebrating your wins. Resting without needing to deserve it. Expressing your truth even if it trembles. It's about honoring your right to be, not perform, not please, not disappear, just be. Whispers for expansion. Tonight, say one of these to yourself. I no longer shrink to be acceptable. It is safe for me to be seen. My presence adds value. I am not too much, I am just enough. Taking up space is how I honor the life I was given. Let these words reawaken what fear once silenced. A letter to your future self who stands tall. Imagine your future self standing in a room, surrounded by others. They are not trying to hide. Their voice is steady. Their smile is whole. Their energy is light and firm. Now send this message to them. Dear future me. If you speak clearly today, it's because I practiced giving myself permission. If you walk boldly, it's because I stopped apologizing for taking up room. If you ask for what you need, it's because I stopped believing my needs were too much. I want you to live without guilt, without shrinking, without editing your soul. So tonight, I expand softly, but fully. Because I know you're waiting for the moment I step into my wholeness. I'm doing it now. Let this letter be your declaration of self-acceptance. Subliminal enrichment through self-permission. Each time you tell yourself, I am allowed to exist fully, you are reshaping years of inherited self-repression. You begin to trust your intuition. Speak your boundaries. Celebrate your uniqueness. Recognize your inner worth, independent of others' approval. And your future self becomes emotionally lighter, no longer carrying the burden of hiding. Nighttime affirmations for bold self-acceptance. Repeat these as you settle into sleep. My existence does not require apology. I take up space with grace. It is safe for me to be seen and heard. All of me is worthy, not just the quiet parts. Tonight, I rest in my enoughness. Let these truths tuck you in like a weighted blanket made of confidence. Gentle closing thought. Before you drift into sleep, offer yourself one final truth. I will no longer shrink to fit spaces I was meant to expand in. Your presence is not too much. It is needed. Your story is not a disruption. It is sacred. Your truth is not a burden. It is beautiful. So take a deep breath. Stretch your limbs. Expand into rest. You are allowed to take up space. And you are still becoming someone magnificent. Chapter 10, You are becoming someone worth staying for. You are not just surviving your days, you are quietly becoming someone your future self will be proud of. There's a quiet transformation happening, even if you can't fully see it yet. It's not flashy. It's not always measurable. But each night you pause, breathe, and whisper something kind to yourself, you are becoming someone stronger, softer, more whole. This chapter is your final bedtime reminder. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. And you are becoming someone worth staying for. Becoming doesn't require perfection. It's easy to believe that becoming your best self means being flawless, someone who wakes early, meditates daily, accomplishes goals effortlessly, and never feels doubt. But the truth is, becoming is messy. It's non-linear. It's human. You become through the moments you choose grace instead of shame, the days you rest even when guilt whispers, the nights you cry and still whisper love to yourself, the small decisions you make in silence, the self-compassion you extend when nobody's watching. Every time you choose love over fear, even in the smallest ways, you are becoming. The beauty of slow becoming. In a world obsessed with speed, slow becoming is sacred. There is strength in those who choose depth over hurry. You don't need to rush into transformation. You don't need to arrive overnight. You're allowed to evolve slowly, gently, like sunrise melting into morning. You're allowed to take the long way. You're allowed to be a work in progress. Because sometimes, the most powerful growth doesn't happen in breakthroughs, it happens in accumulated softness. And your future self is not looking for perfection. They are waiting for your wholeness. You are already becoming right now. Even in this moment as you lie down to rest, reading or listening to these words, something is shifting. You are choosing awareness. You are choosing reflection. You are choosing to send love across time to someone who will one day look back and say, "That's where it started. That's the moment I realized I was worth rooting for." So tonight, know this, you are not behind. You are becoming. And this version of you, the tired, tender, trying you, is deeply worthy of love. A final bedtime practice, the becoming letter. Try this one last practice as a closing ritual for your day. Lie still and breathe gently. Feel the full weight of your body supported, safe, real. Visualize the you of the future. Not a perfect version. A fulfilled one. Peaceful. Whole. Radiant. Speak to them with love. I'm doing my best to meet you. I hope you're proud of the small steps I'm taking. Let yourself receive their gratitude. Hear them say back, "Thank you for not giving up on us." Whisper your becoming mantra. I am becoming someone worth staying for. This is your sacred closure. This is your alignment with hope. What it means to be worth staying for. We often look to others to stay in love, in friendship, in commitment. But the first person who needs to stay is you. When you become someone worth staying for, you keep showing up, even when it's hard. Choose truth, even when it trembles. Nurture your needs, not just your obligations. Honor your emotions, not just your efficiency. Stand beside yourself through every high and low. Your presence with yourself becomes the most faithful relationship you'll ever have. You already are enough. Becoming is not about becoming someone else. It's about returning to the version of you that was always there, beneath the fear, beneath the doubt, beneath the pressure. You already carry enough light to guide your way. You already hold enough wisdom to take the next step. You already are enough, even if no one else says it. So let your future self hear you say, "I see my worth now, not when I finish healing, not when I prove myself, not when I'm finally better. But now. As I am. Becoming. Still worthy." Subliminal enrichment, a new self-concept. Every night you speak kindly to your future self, you're also reshaping how you see yourself now. You're rewriting your identity. No longer, "I am behind. I can't get it right. Something's wrong with me." Now, "I am unfolding in perfect time. Every step counts, even the hidden ones. My journey is valid and valuable." These messages sink deep. They become your foundation. And your future self will stand taller because of them. Nighttime affirmations of becoming. Whisper these as you drift into sleep. I am becoming someone my heart is proud of. Every small choice I make matters. I am worthy of love in progress, not just in completion. My journey doesn't need to be perfect to be beautiful. I am not lost, I am in process. Let these truths echo softly through your rest. A final letter to the future you. Close your eyes and imagine this message being delivered across time. Dear future me, I know you're standing tall today. I hope you feel at home in your own skin. I hope the love I offered you each night has become the ground you now walk on. I didn't always know what I was doing. I stumbled. I doubted. I cried. But I never gave up on you. I whispered hope when no one else could hear. I chose small kindnesses when I felt unsure. And I want you to know I stayed. I stayed with you. I believed in you. I loved you through the fog. I hope you feel that. I hope you carry it with you wherever you go. Becoming wasn't easy, but it was worth it. And so are you. Gentle closing thought. As you tuck in tonight, carry this final truth. You are not just a collection of habits or goals. You are a soul on a journey. You are growing. You are learning. You are becoming. Not for anyone else. Not for approval. But because you were born to live fully, love freely, and rest deeply. So close your eyes now and whisper. I am becoming someone I want to come home to. Let that be your lullaby. Let that be your peace. Let that be your promise. Final reflection, becoming the person you were meant to live with. Biggest takeaway. The deepest message of this ebook is simple, but sacred. You are already someone worth loving, not after healing, not after achieving, not after proving, but now. Just as you are in your becoming. Each chapter is a gentle invitation to reconnect with your own inner light. It reminds you that your quiet efforts matter. Your feelings are valid. Your rest is holy. Your voice deserves space. Your dreams are not forgotten. And your presence is not an accident. But more than that, this book teaches you to stay present with yourself, to become someone your future self will thank, not just for surviving, but for staying soft, honest, and faithful to the soul's calling. How to leverage this ebook for self-enhancement and life re-engineering. 1. Build a nightly ritual of self-reconnection. Use each chapter as a bedtime guide. Reread one per night. Speak the affirmations aloud. Whisper the closing letter as a nightly prayer. Let this ritual soften your nervous system, calm your inner critic, and gently rewire your self-concept through repetition and intention. Why it matters. Transformation doesn't happen through willpower alone. It happens through devotional consistency, and bedtime is the most fertile moment to plant these truths. 2. Clarify your life's true focus. After completing this journey, ask yourself, what does my future self really desire? What distractions am I now ready to release? What quiet truth have I been afraid to live? Then, choose one core intention to realign your life around. Not 10. Just one. Let it become your North Star, something that nourishes you before you try to fix the world. 3. Reframe your relationship with contribution. Your worth is not tied to how much you give away. Your true legacy is how fully you lived, loved, forgave, and honored your soul's assignment. This ebook teaches you to serve from a place of fullness, not depletion. Love yourself enough to say yes with joy and no with peace. Leave behind not just success, but integrity, presence, and emotional clarity. Let this shift your focus from what am I achieving, to what am I aligning with in service of truth and goodness. 4. Replace self-demerit with sacred self-dialogue. Many people subconsciously punish themselves with guilt, regret, or shame. This book teaches you a better way. Speak gently. Speak forward. Speak with grace. Every night, choose one message from this ebook to whisper to your future self. Let that small kindness cancel years of self-judgment. Let love, not punishment, become your path to change. 5. Live with grateful urgency. This work reminds you of something sacred. You are still alive, and that means your purpose is not yet complete. Let that truth awaken gratitude. Let it dissolve excuses. Let it make you bold. You don't need to wait to be better. You are becoming already. Be more appreciative, not because life is perfect, but because you are still here to write, heal, love, forgive, serve, and bloom. Ultimate self-realization. By integrating the lessons from this book, you will gradually white heavy check mark stop punishing yourself for your past. White heavy check mark start speaking life into your future. White heavy check mark reconnect with your soul's core truth. White heavy check mark honor your emotions without shame. White heavy check mark re-engineer your life around peace, clarity, and contribution. And most of all, you will become someone who is at peace with their humanity and aligned with divine purpose, not driven by fear or comparison, but inspired by faith and gentleness. Closing blessing. Dear reader and listener, you are a light in this world. You are not here to shrink. You are not here to carry guilt until the end of your days. You are not here to keep rehearsing pain. You are here to wake up to the beauty of your own becoming. Speak to yourself with love. Rest without guilt. Forgive often. Listen to your quiet truths. And never again let the world convince you to live small. While you are still alive, bless the world with your whole self. All is well. God is with you. And you are already enough. Reaching RTSG with AI assistance via WhatsApp QR code. Recommended Reinventing Ourselves YouTube video QR code.